Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is day 15 in our 30 days of stitches, and today we're talking a simple and beginner friendly mosaic pattern for crochet as our last crochet video of the series. So if you guys want to jump in with this one, grab yourself 2 strands of yarn in 2 different colors. Contrasting is awesome. I'm using a light level 3 of yarn, but you can use any basically thickness you want. So we're gonna make a really fun mosaic chevron pattern. We're gonna follow the pattern of how to do this, and initially we're gonna talk about exactly how to do mosaic, and the pattern looks really complicated, but once you understand how it works, it really is very simple. So we are going to jump right in. The entirety of mosaic is going to be done with single crochet. Now I'm going to start using foundation single crochets. Now a couple of principles while I work this foundation chain and initial row is that we're going to use one color for each row of our pattern. So we're going to continue changing color with each row, and we're always going to work from the front side of our work. So basically we're going to fasten off our yarn each end of the row and start again at the beginning. Now yes, this does leave quite a few ends to weave in, but I'll show you what our mug rug looks like when it's finished, or our little coaster, and it's gonna have some little tassels on the side, so it'll be really cute. You can weave them in if you want to, or you can just leave them and they'll be little tassels. That'll be really cute. So I mean, if you're doing a blanket and you don't want the fringe on the outside, that's fine. You can weave them all in the back. All right, and if you guys don't know how to do foundation single crochets and you want to learn, there is a video posted on the channel. I'll link it in the description below if you want to do foundation stitches as well. We used it for a granny square. All right, so our pattern for mosaic is done in really a multiple of 5 stitches, and then 1 more for the end of the row. You can determine the length of your square based on how many foundation single crochets you do. Mine is looking good right now, so we're gonna count them up and we'll make it work. So now we're gonna insert our hook into the first single crochet and draw up a loop of the other color. Now we are going to chain 1 to begin the row. So we're always gonna start with a chain 1. This row is again a setup row, so we're gonna just single crochet all the way across. And then we're gonna go back and do 1 more row of our light color and do 1 more straight row of that as well before we actually begin the pattern. I have started with a 21 chain length with my 3.5mm crochet hook, and then I have done 1 row of single crochet on top of our foundation chains, and we single crocheted into the back loop of each stitch across, and then we single crochet all the way across. I did back loop only on this row, and then I fastened off my darker color. And then we're gonna go back to our light color, so I picked that up as well. So we are going to pick up our light color here, and then I single crocheted across each stitch in the back loop again with my light color. Now going into row number 4, this is where we're going to begin our actual mosaic patterns. We're gonna yarn over, draw up a loop, and then chain 1 to begin our row. I'm gonna bring it over here to the right hand side because this is gonna be our fringe. We are going to begin, first chain starts as our initial single crochet. We need to do 2 more in the back loop, and now our third one is going to be our new stitch, which is our long single crochet. So we want to use this stitch right here, so you can see here's our V's, and now we're going to come down into the spot where we single crocheted in the last row, and yarn over, draw up a loop, and finish off our single crochet. So basically what this does is it covers up the single crochet that's there. And now we're going to begin our repeat. So we're going to start with our long one as our first stitch in our repeat, and then we're going to do 4 back loop single crochets and then another long one. And that is it for this row. We're going to keep going. So let's do our long one again. So here's our V's. We want to come down below that single crochet from the row below and draw up a loop, keep it nice and loose. Okay, so we don't want to cinch everything down. We want to cover up that stitch that's there, and then finish off our single crochet. All right, so now we need 4 more back loop single crochets and then another long one, and then 4 more single crochets before 1 final one at the end of the row. And then we'll finish with a regular single crochet at the end of the row. So we want to go over both of our strands at the end of the row, not just the back loop. And now, in typical mosaic fashion, fasten off. Okay, so I cut my yarn, and then draw up my loop. So now it's fastened off at the end here. Now what we have happening here on the left hand side is a bunch of our little strands, and they're all going to be different lengths. It doesn't really matter. We'll cut them so they're all the same length at the end. All right, so coming back to the beginning, row number 5. We are going back to our light color. So draw up a loop, chain 1. So now we're ready to begin this row. So this one is going to start with a long single crochet at the beginning. So we're going to start with a long single crochet. Do not catch your tail from putting on your new yarn if you want to have tassels. If you don't want tassels, you can crochet over it if you want to, but better to just weave it in after. One more back loop beside it, and we need 3. And then 2 long ones in the next 2 stitches. So long and long. And then we're going to repeat. So that initial one doesn't really count. It is like half. It's basically, this is the repeat from here to here. So now we want to do, so if we have 2 long ones, we want 3 short or 3 back loop, and then 2 more long across the row. Watch your stitches, watch your pattern, make sure you're in the right spot when you are working each stitch. So in this case, we want 3 short ones to be over top and surrounding this 1 long one that we did in the previous row. And then we have 2 long ones, and finish our row off with 2 short and a regular single crochet. Okay, and then fasten off. All right, so now we can start to see a little bit of our pattern starting to emerge, and you can see how the dark ones here are kind of covering up the light in here, and then how these light ones are covering up the dark section. So hopefully we'll do a couple more rows, and then it will show a little bit better what our pattern should look like. So this row is row 6. We are going to begin with a back loop, single crochet, and then a long, and then a regular, and then another long one. Sorry, when I say regular, I mean back loop, unless it's at the end of the row, and then I actually mean regular. My goodness. 1 regular, 1 long. Now 2 regulars, 1 long, and then we begin again. Now when you're looking at written pattern, if you're looking at the chart, you are looking at only the stitches with the X's in them are going to be the long ones. Otherwise, you basically back loop, single crochet, finish with 1 last back loop, and then a regular single crochet to end the row. Fasten off again. So there we have, starting to look a little bit more chevron-like. All right, row 7, another light colored row, 2 back loop single crochets, and then a long one, and then 4 more before another long one, and that should be our repeat. As always, the written pattern for this will be shown in the blog post as well as the downloadable graph. All right, so long one at the end of the row and a single crochet. All right, so now we can see a little bit more. All right, so starting row number 8, I have connected up my darker yarn, and we are beginning with a long single crochet at the beginning of the row, and then 3 short, and then 2 long side by side. And then we're going to begin our repeat from there. So 3 short, 2 long. Okay, and then finishing with our 2 short and a regular at the end of the row. Oh, we have chevrons happening. Can you guys see that? Woo! All right, just took 8 rows. All right, so let's bring on our light again. This is a lot of back and forth. I hope this makes sense to everybody. And if you guys have any questions, comment down below and we can help out. This is going to begin our last row of our repeat, and then we're going to begin our row number 1 again. Okay, so this one is going to be 1 back loop single crochet, 1 long one, a back loop, a long one, and then 2 back loops before we begin again. Long, short, long, 2 short, long at the end of the row, and a regular single crochet to finish off the row. So that is the end of our repeat, and a couple more rows just because of the way that this one works. you know, 3 or 4 more rows, you'll be able to see even better the chevrons. So we're gonna keep going, and you guys can go back, do row number 1 again. Check out the blog post because it has everything written out, as well as the chart and a little bit more detail as to how to read the chart, and everything will be there. So that is linked in the description below, and I will come back and show you guys more of what this looks like once we get a bunch more rows done. All right, so here's the finished product of our mosaic, and at the end of the pattern I decided to add an extra row of single crochet, and then I slip stitch across just to make it a little bit closer to the foundation edge. And now we have all these extra pieces of yarn along the side, so I'm gonna just figure out which one is the shortest and kind of cut it at that point. And now there's one down here that's pretty short, so we want it to be at least basically no shorter than that point. So we're just gonna trim off all these extra strands. All right, and same thing on the other side, and then we are done. Anyway, hope you guys like this one, and if you do, go ahead and hit the like button and stay tuned for tomorrow because we have more videos coming over the next couple of weeks. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you in the next one.